President Trump assumed office on January 20th, there's been an announcement practically every day. And if it is H-1B visas on one day, it's immigration the next. And more recently, in fact, this morning, there was some proposal being moved in the US for green cards, limiting them, restricting immigration to the US. To discuss some of these issues, I have with me Mr. Shalabh Kumar of the Republican Hindu Coalition, well-known India advocate in the US. Mr. Kumar, what do we read in all this? What can we read in Mr. Trump when he comes forward with these kind of proposals?
Well, first of all, we need to recognize that President Trump, first and foremost, is a businessman. He's not a traditional politician. And what he is delivering, what he's doing at a very rapid speed is all what he said, proclaimed, professed, what he did in the campaign. So there is nothing different which is going on except he's fulfilling the promises, what he said during the campaign. And now as far as this particular H-1B proposal or green card proposals and all that which is taking place, that is really a very broad spectrum of ideas from different people. You know, United States is not one single government. It's not parliamentary democracy, as you know. So Congress has their own ideas. House of Representatives will have their ideas. Senators will have their ideas. Administration will have their ideas. And then they get all debated and finalized into law. But one thing is for sure, President Trump definitely recognizes that we, United States, are a country of immigrants, and a lot of skilled talent is needed to have the economy grow at the rate we want the economy to grow, 4 to 5% per year.
So let's take it one by one. Let's begin with the H-1B. Where is that going?
H-1B right now, the only thing which President Trump as a candidate had announced that we need to curb the abuse and fraud. It's not a whole lot, but it's there. To focus on enforcing the existing laws so that people are not misusing the system. That's all. With respect to anything else, that will be introduced again in Congress and debated and finalized. And if people want to just read into where President Trump's thinking is, I could assure you, as a person who knows him well, that he's a businessman. He is let's say, in line with the thinking of U.S. Chamber of Commerce. U.S. Chamber of Commerce is totally in favor of getting skilled immigration into the country.
So when he talks of restricting green cards, bringing it down to about 50,000 a year, I believe currently it's about 1 million a year.
No, from 1 million to 50,000. That will be a drastic number. No, I think it's. I've read the proposal. It's it's not him. It's not his proposal. It's 2 senators, and you could read whatever you want to read into it. And one thing I will just tell the whole world: quit reading into a statement and a rumor and a bill here and there. Wait, have some patience. And see what comes out. So many people from India that are in Silicon Valley who are great inventors. Things will not be moving in California and Silicon Valley without these people.
Let's get to something more interesting. China, you mentioned it. Does Trump see India? How do you see? I mean, Mr. Trump. You've dealt with him. What's his view of India? Does he see it as some kind of as a partner in his in whatever he has against China, or how does he see India in that sense, in a strategic sense?
You see, a very unique rally organized by Republican Hindu Coalition that took place on October 15th in New Jersey, just 3 weeks prior to the election. I mean, that itself was a unique phenomena in the history of presidential elections, where you have a president of the candidate for president goes out to speak at a Hindu rally in New Jersey. What did he say? So pay attention to what he says, and again, because he sticks to what he says. Everywhere, he sticks to what he says. He said several major statements. We love Hindus. He said, we love India. US and India will be best friends. He acknowledged that Prime Minister Modi is controlling or attempting to control the bureaucracy. So he praised him for that. And he talked about cross-border terrorism, that he was very specific in his speech on that. So all those things will clearly tell you, and just even the event which has happened, that the mastermind of Mumbai terror attack, you know, before that he was not being arrested, so now he finally got arrested. So there's a wake-up call there.
But he's been arrested before also and released.
But we'll see over there what happens now, because President Trump, again, as a businessman and not a politician, he says it like it is. So, you know, it's very, very plain.
There's a lot of talk of some kind of a military confrontation between China and the US in the South China Sea and other places. Is this a lot of kite flying? Is it signals being sent? What are we supposed to read into all this?
Read Art of the Deal. Anybody who wants to understand President Trump, read Art of the Deal. Just that's how I'll state. So he's a very calm, calculating person who knows how to win in any situation. So that's what's going to happen. So we do not need to be unduly alarmed. Now China has been expanding and is doing lots of things which are, you know, showing its colors that it wants to become the dominant power in the world and substitute the United States as the #1 economy or #1 power in the world. China wants to do that, and President Trump and his team, we recognize that that is their aim, that's their goal, and we'll do everything to curb that.
So do you see some kind of a strategic understanding between us? There already is of some kind, although we've been more cautious perhaps.
The United States and India?
Yeah.
Yeah, United States and India are going to become very strong allies. The two leaders of the country think alike. So it's going to be a great friendship, and whole geopolitics is going to change.
Let's come to terrorism. Every US administration has been, from our point of view, rather lenient with Pakistan, and their relationship goes back a long way. Can it be different under Trump?
It will be absolutely, totally different. Because no Benedict Arnold. If you say, you're going to fight terrorism, you're going to fight terrorism. And you say, okay, show me proof. What are you doing? So, you know, Pakistan already is reading the lines. So they better behave.
So what can we expect? I mean, there's a lot of interest here in how this administration could respond to, say, Pakistani terror strikes or perhaps Mumbai attacks of some kind. How will they respond?
See, actually, in that October 15th speech, he talked about Mumbai terror attack. Okay, there's going to be strong reactions. Pakistan, you know, I've stated this before. I think Nawaz Sharif wants to run the country in a businessman-like manner. And he's attempting to. He should be encouraged. It's only the other side, the ISI and the military, which prevent him from doing that. So our goal, U.S. goal, will be to strengthen Nawaz Sharif and keep the ISI and military under control.
What about, there's been talk of a bilateral trade deal between India and the US. You expect something of this kind?
It's my personal goal to have a bilateral agreement between US and India on trade. The trade between the two countries is sitting very low, only 100 billion a year. It should go up to 300 billion a year in the first term of President Trump, and it should be on a trajectory to actually hit $1 billion. You know, initially there is going to be some resistance and there are some problems and some issues have to be solved. So that's why it's going to be more an exponential growth. And then by the end of the second term, it should be on a trajectory to be hitting $1 trillion a year. There's a lot of opportunity between the United States and India for the trade to grow in the area of defense, in the area of energy, in the area of advanced manufacturing, electronics manufacturing. With respect to reluctance, what you're talking about, India also has to move forward. It has to change some of its laws of reciprocity in legal terms, and also IP protection is there to a certain extent, but it needs to be better. So, I'm sure the two countries are going to work together well to overcome some of these barriers to have the trade grow. You know, first of all, for example, defense. Everybody knows the preferred supplier of defense equipment is United States from an Indian perspective, and it's also recognized in the military circles that India needs a lot of defense equipment, particularly with the posture of China and also Pakistan with them. So a lot of defense equipment is needed, but current laws in the United States do not permit the procurement of those systems. That is going to change. That's going to change quickly.
You know, he has this, he's perhaps the first American president to conduct foreign policy through tweets. Yeah?
It's effective. It's effective. See what happens in with respect to Mexico. I will predict that too. Yeah, we are going to build a wall, and Mexico is going to pay for it.
How?
It will pay through you know, there are so many tax policies, there's so many economic policies, so much money that flows between the two countries. So they, if it's not, it doesn't mean that they have to go write a check for, hey, this is the check for the wall. You don't have to do that. But as long as whatever the cost of the wall is, that is recuperated from Mexico. So Mexico has paid for the wall.
On that note, Mr. Shalabh Kumar, thank you very much for talking to WION.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.